R&B, soul, and funk artists who died on stage, or the same night. They went on to perform. The show didn't finish. This is a straight record of what happened, where and when, no dramatics. Johnny Guitar Watson was the cool glue between jump blues, classic R&B, and 70s funk. A guitarist slash singer slash producer with swagger and hits like A Real Mother for Ye and Superman Lover. In May 1996, on a Japan tour stop in Yokohama, he did what he always did. Walked on, locked into the pocket, and worked the room. Mid-set, he suddenly faltered, went down, and never made it back.
That the DJ played. Well, all right.
He was rushed from the stage and pronounced dead shortly after, with reports calling it a heart attack. He was crucial for the R&B history by modernizing the groove. He took blues phrasing and dressed it in velvet funk, made the guitar talk, sometimes literally, and turned sly storytelling into hooks.
Everybody knows I'm here.
His records became sample gold for later generations. His tone a blueprint for slick, street-smart R&B. He didn't just influence the sound, he upgraded it. Tuts Washington was New Orleans piano to the core. Barrel house left hand, rollin' right, and a walkable swing you can hear on Smiley Lewis's Tina Na. He came up before rock and roll, shaping the vocabulary that players like Professor Longhair, Fats Domino, and Alan Toussaint would spin into hits. On August 5, 1984, at the Louisiana World's Fair, he sat down to play another set, the kind he'd done his whole life. Mid-performance, he slumped over the keys and collapsed. Paramedics moved fast, but he was gone. A suspected heart attack on the stage he loved. His legacy is practical. Every bounce in New Orleans R&B carries his feel. When you hear that second line lift under a simple melody, you're hearing Tuts, steady, human, and built for the dance floor. Forever. From that quiet piano, the story jumps to Oakland, where a voice built for liftoff suddenly drops. Philippé Wynne was the lead singer of the Spinners, the voice on one-of-a-kind Love Affair, Sadie, and the lift that made the Rubber Band Man bounce. His voice could levitate a room, silky falsetto one bar, testifying the next.
Sometimes a girl.
After years of fronting the Spinners and guesting with P-Funk, he was back on a club stage in Oakland in July 1984, doing what he loved, working a crowd. Mid-song he stumbled, went down, and the band stopped on a dime. Paramedics arrived fast. He was taken out as fans stood frozen, unsure whether they'd watched theater or real life. It was real. Doctors said heart attack. He died the next day at 43. He helped define the polished, feel-good edge of 70s soul while keeping gospel grit in the phrasing. You still hear his fingerprints in modern R&B ad-libs and stacked hooks. Agile, joyful, and right on top of the pocket today. Jackie Wilson, Mr. Excitement, was the Detroit showman who turned early R&B into high-voltage soul, firing off hits like Lonely Teardrops, Reet Petite, and Your Love Keeps Lifting Me higher and higher. On September 29, 1975, during Dick Clark's Good Old Rock and Roll Review at the Latin Casino in Cherry Hill, he was singing Lonely Teardrops when he collapsed. It was a heart attack, and the fall caused brain injury. He survived but never regained full consciousness, spending years in care before passing on January 21, 1984, from complications including pneumonia. Wilson set the template. A soaring tenor that could plead and punch in the same bar, athletic choreography that previewed Motown polish, and a frontman style that influenced everyone from James Brown to Michael Jackson. When people say R&B became soul, they're describing what Jackie did on stage, turning emotion into motion and making crowds move. Johnny Ace was the young R&B balladeer rising fast on the mid-50s circuit, a Beale Streeter who turned soft-spoken croons into hits like Pledging My Love and Never Let Me Go. On Christmas night 1954, he was part of a Houston City Auditorium show with Big Mama Thornton. During the break between sets backstage, he was handling a .32 caliber pistol, showing it off, according to bandmates when it fired. He was rushed out and pronounced dead shortly after. Rumors called it Russian roulette. Witnesses and later reporting described a tragic accident, not a stunt. The crowd returned to their seats expecting another set. Instead, word spread quietly through the hall. Ace's final single went to #1 for weeks, turning a regional star into a national story. His gentle delivery became a blueprint for later R&B and doo-wop ballads. Direct, intimate, and radio-ready. The night was supposed to end with encores. Instead, it became the moment R&B lost a rising, promising voice. Vibing with this story? Tap like and hit subscribe to keep the next videos coming. Next stop, Atlanta, where the Shirelles' Micki Harris suddenly collapses. Micki Harris was the bright, steady voice inside the Shirelles, the early 60s bridge from doo-wop to R&B girl group soul. She spent her life on stages big and small, delivering tight harmonies on standards like Will You Love Me Tomorrow, Baby It's You, and Soldier Boy. In Atlanta on June 10, 1982, the group wrapped 2 hotel shows, said quick goodbyes, and stepped into the lobby buzz that always follows a good set. Harris suddenly collapsed. Paramedics worked fast, but she was gone soon after, a suspected heart attack at just 42. Her impact is easy to hear. The Shirelles' phrasing, call and response leads, and clean conversational melodies became a template for R&B vocal groups and pop soul arrangements that followed. Earl Bostic was the volcanic alto who fused jump blues into early R&B, a technician with altissimo fireworks, and a band leader who could turn a standard into a street anthem. In Rochester on October 28, 1965, he was on stage doing exactly that when he suddenly went pale and staggered. John, if you don't come home, I'm gonna have to leave. The song stopped, horns lowered, and he was rushed out. Doctors called it a heart attack, and he didn't make it. He was 52. Bostic isn't a household name like the singers he backed, but spin Flamingo, Temptation, or Harlem Nocturne, and you hear why players studied him. He packed clubs with dancing crowds and trained musicians who would later reshape American music. When modern R&B leans on a gritty sax hook, it's echoing a playbook Earl Bostic wrote on stage, chorus after chorus, until the very end. Papa D. Allen was WAR's heartbeat, the congas, shakers, and hand percussion that turned Lowrider, Cisco Kid, and The World is a Ghetto into rolling street parades.
I would have given you all of my heart.
In Vallejo on August 30th, 1988, He was doing what he'd done for decades, driving the pocket, cueing the band with a glance and a grin, when he suddenly crumpled mid-song. The room went from motion to stillness in a breath. Medics moved fast, but reports said a brain aneurysm, and he never recovered. It's a stark ending for a musician built entirely around feel.
The first cut is the deepest, man, not to no lie. Can promise you nothing but try me, I go try the...
Allen's percussive blueprint bled into funk, hip-hop, and West Coast R&B for years. You can hear his touch anywhere the groove sounds like a city humming. He died working the beat, the way he always did. Allen Toussaint was New Orleans R&B in human form, pianist, songwriter, producer, quiet architect. He wrote or produced staples like Working in the Coal Mine, Mother-in-Law, Fortune Teller, and shaped careers around the city. Irma Thomas, Lee Dorsey, The Meters, and Dr. John.
And on the ride out there, we'd see things we didn't see.
On tour in Europe in November 2015, he finished a concert in Madrid and later suffered a heart attack. He was taken for treatment, but didn't make it. Toussaint's gift was order and lift. Simple piano figures that move a song like flowing traffic, horn lines that feel inevitable, and lyrics that land clean.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Even when he stepped out front later in life, the approach stayed the same. Serve the song first. His last night ended like so many before it, after the music. Thanks for watching. If you like this straightforward factual tribute, hit the like button. For more R&B and soul history told clean and clear, subscribe. And keep going. Watch the next video on your screen.